Welcome everyone. I decided to do another YouTube video. These are not regular uploads, I realise that, but at the same time it's because I don't have a lot of content to make sometimes, and I'll only make it when I enjoy it. So here you are. This is another one, and without further ado, rather than delaying, here is the showcase for the most recent painted miniature in the Dreadwood scheme, which is Drycha. Please enjoy. As you could probably see from other videos, which I'm going to be using the magic of editing, I have painted it before. It came to a case of me doing a full strip down and a full repaint of Drycha to match the current scheme that I'm going for, which is a complete redesign and a redo of the way that the Dreadwood has been designed. Again, with the power of editing, I will show you the way that GW has decided they wanted to do the Dreadwood Glade, which is mostly focusing on the realm of Shish. Shaiish, pronunciations is not great when it comes to fantasy realms, I'll be honest with you. But the idea being is that they're normally very pale and very dark themed, so the bark is normally greyish and it goes more towards like a darker theme, and the skin I kind of copied over the blues and stuff like that. I thought that was really, really cool. And in the markings as well, I believe it was red for like the glyphs that were carved in, and I thought that was cool, but it didn't give off the right kind of scheme that I wanted, so I modified it. And again, you can see this stuff talked about in my other video where I showcase a lot of the stuff that I painted already. Particularly, like, I've repainted Alarielle as well to match the theme, because Alarielle, in some of the lore that I read, matches the aspects of what she is fighting next to. So the fact that she is still her own, but also still kind of pairing with the rest of the army is really, really cool. The only things that I'm kind of missing at this stage when it comes to my tabletop being cohesive and all in the same scheme would be Durfu at this point. And Durfu is not a unique character, so I can potentially paint him to match the rest of the army, but I kind of still want him to be unique enough. Yes, he is part of the army. Yes, he's still part of the same glade, but he is still a very elite unit, very rare elite unit that's going to stand out away from the rest. Oddly enough, it's still the same case when it comes to Drycha. She is a unique character. There is no other Drycha. But Drycha is meant to be essentially the face of the Dreadwood. Even though in the lore, the highest person would be the Tree Lord Ancient that is in control of that glade. Drycha pretty much lives in the Dreadwood, from my understanding. She's basically the person that leads the outcasts, and the outcasts are very high in population in the Dreadwood Glade. So to say that she is not part of the Dreadwood would make no sense. But she is not the leader, of course. She is pretty much a schizophrenic maniac with only rage and spite to kind of lead others. So I had to paint her in the Dreadwood theme. It made sense, and she looks fantastic. I have my own criticisms. I experimented with doing the floor when it comes to the rivers. I did this very similarly with Alarielle, and Alarielle turned out really well. It was muddy water, very thin on the ground. It made sense. And I tried to do the similar thing when it came to this, but I realized I'd like to have it where it was more clearly water. So I used a dark blue, but I didn't mix anything or anything. And it kind of, it looks too cartoonishly like water now. And there was a point where I was like, right, scrape this off, do it all again, but I'd gone too far to go back. Now, it's my own unique quirk. And ultimately, This is something for the tabletop. It's not a piece that I'm going to be looking at submitting to any sort of competition. I have another one that I'm working on for that, where I have spent so much time slowly doing bits, and trying to make it better and better and better. But it's not there yet. It's still not there yet. And I'm still kind of toying with other stuff that I've done. So I've also posted on YouTube me painting Belfanos, which I thought was really good. And I was really happy with how it was at the time. I am happy with a lot of it still to this day, but there's also a point where it's like, I don't know whether or not he takes on the aspects he's fighting next to, because he is also a unique character, but it doesn't feel like he would. So there's no reason to. He's just fighting on that front with the Dreadwood behind him. It makes sense for Drycha, doesn't make sense for Belfanos, but Belfanos' lore is very thin on the ground. There's not much really about him. People kind of at one point thought he was going to be Kurnoth himself at one point, but he's not. He's like an aspect of Kurnoth. And to say that, what does that translate as when it comes to the way that he's painted and the glade he is? I feel like he is him. He is him wherever he goes. He doesn't change. Whereas Alarielle makes sense. She is all aspects of her children in all their different glades. So she'll just take on little bits of them when she's fighting next to him. It makes sense, right? It makes sense. I have bits of the army that aren't painted in this scheme, and I will be painting them eventually. I just have no urgency to do so at this point. When it comes to me playing them on the tabletop, I think the most frequent ones at the moment, considering the meta, is very much a monster mash. The only one that I use on a frequent basis still is probably Durthu, and they're not a unique character, so you could potentially paint them in the glade, but I want them to be distinct enough. I mean, the sculpt itself is distinct enough, but I want to paint it so it's distinct enough that it is Durthu, but it's not Durthu. And you'll see that when I finally realise it myself what that means. Yeah, I think that's everything I really need to say right now in my most recent Drycha showcase. I'm really, really happy with it. I can't wait to kind of reveal this on the tabletop as well. I mean, Alarielle herself, like when last time I won, I played a GT, I actually won Best Painted, which I was really, really pleased with. So the fact that I now have multiple things that are all stellar in their paint scheme, and everyone that sees them thinks that the purple and everything looks fantastic. So I'm really, really happy that I'm able to put such a cool army on the table, and I'm able to tell the story as well, because this is what the hobby's about. People say, why did you paint it that way, or what's going on here? It's so fucking dope. I'm over the moon. There's going to be some points where I'm going to maybe paint some trophies and put them on the base. We're not there yet. She's a freshly painted model, and the way when it comes to the soggy battle report, battle scroll, she is very punchy. I played her in other games before this paint scheme, so she is going to be taking some names and heads, I think, for certain. Can't wait, honestly. But yeah, that's everything for right now. If you have stayed this long, thank you so much. I have other social medias out there. I'm hoping to make a link tree and have everyone able to see all my social medias. I mostly post on TikTok, honestly, on a frequent basis. My big stuff is obviously on here, on YouTube, and obviously I'm going to be posting things on Instagram as well. So if you've seen this on YouTube, thank you so much. I really hope that you stick around and follow. If not, please check out my other social medias there. They're more interesting. I'm hoping for this one to get more interesting in the future. Thank you. Take care.